You're looking to cut through the noise, get right to the core of what matters. Well, that's what we aim for here.
Welcome.
Welcome to this deep dive. We take curated information, pull out the key insights for you, saves you time, keeps you sharp.
And today, our focus is squarely on a specific set of colors from BrandCanvasStudio. It's their warm sand color palette for visual identity.
Exactly. And we're not just, glancing at pretty colors.
No, definitely not.
We want to dig into how these 6 specific warm, earthy tones can really shape the whole feel.
Yeah.
The message, even, of anything from a logo to, well, a whole room's atmosphere.
We're aiming to understand that serene, grounded, and I think crucially timeless quality they talk about.
Yeah. Timeless is key. 6 colors, but a lot packed into them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. Maybe start with the basics. What's the job of a visual identity color palette anyway?
Right. So fundamentally, a visual identity palette is like silent communication. It sets the tone, the mood, the whole first impression a brand or design gives off. And with this warm sand palette, the goal seems pretty clear: to bring out feelings of calm, warmth, really drawing from the natural world.
That makes sense. It's strategic, not just picking colors you like.
Precisely. It's communication.
All right, let's break down these 6 shades then. First one, soft sand. Hex code #F4EAD5. What's the story with this one?
Soft sand.
Oh.
Okay. They describe it as a gentle off-white. But the important bit is that creamy warmth it has.
Creamy warmth, okay.
Its main role, after it's the base, the foundation. Think about creating a sense of space, like airiness.
Right.
So it's great for minimalist branding or just as a neutral background, letting the other colors pop without it feeling cluttered.
Right.
And that subtle warmth means it doesn't feel cold or, clinical. It feels welcoming.
So a starting point, but a warm one.
Got it.
Okay, next up is warm beige, #E8D5C4. Now, beige, sometimes it gets a bad rap for being a bit, boring.
Yeah, it can. But the name here, warm beige, hints at more. And the description calls out its subtle sophistication. It definitely brings warmth, but it's still neutral, still versatile.
Versatile how?
Well, think about typography. There's
Yeah.
clarity there. Or packaging, where you want something inviting but not loud.
Right.
It's also really good at connecting things. It can bridge other colors in the design, stop it looking sort of fragmented.
Like the dependable team player in the palette.
Exactly. A very reliable choice.
Moving on then to golden sand, #D9C2A4. The name alone sounds richer.
Yeah, it does. And what's interesting here is how it acts like a bridge between the lighter shades and the darker ones in the palette.
A bridge.
It's got this genuine warmth, the kind of richness. Imagine it adding just a touch of vibrancy, but without shouting,
Okay, subtle vibrancy.
Yeah. So practical uses, maybe for headers, drawing the eye,
Yeah.
or as an accent color. Or even, and this is clever, for creating subtle shadows. Adds a bit of depth.
Subtle shadows. Yeah, that adds dimension without being heavy. Interesting. Okay, next color. Muted taupe, #C1AB8F. Taupe can mean different things. What's the vibe here?
This muted taupe, it leans towards a grayish brown. And that's where it gets its feeling of maturity, understated sophistication.
Okay, sophistication.
It's not a loud color.
Yeah.
It sort of quietly suggests stability, refinement.
So where would you use that?
You might see it in logos aiming for that classic enduring look, or maybe body text where you want elegance but also readability, or decorative bits where you need depth but nothing too distracting.
Right, project's dependability. Quiet confidence.
Exactly.
Then we get to Desert Dune, #AENC72. That name really paints a picture.
It really does. Desert Dune is all about bringing that earthy, natural feel right into the palette.
How so?
The description mentions a mix of soft brown and interestingly subtle olive undertones.
Olive. Okay.
Yeah, and together they create this really grounding effect. So it's suggested for accent designs, icons, maybe branding that wants to feel really connected to nature, simplicity. It's about balance, getting that organic feel. You could easily see like a sustainability-focused brand using this effectively.
Yeah, definitely. For anything outdoorsy or eco-conscious. Makes perfect sense. Okay, last one. Deep clay, #8B735B. Clearly the darkest of the bunch.
Deep clay is basically the anchor for the whole palette.
The anchor.
Being the darkest, it naturally brings in richness, a bit of visual drama. It's perfect for making a statement.
Look, what kind of statement?
Well, think bold logos, maybe really clear call to action buttons on a website that need to grab attention.
Right, the things you need people to click.
Exactly. Or strong borders, maybe, to frame the lighter shades.
Yeah.
It gives you that contrast, that depth, which actually helps the softer colors stand out more.
So each color really has its own job to do. It's a team effort.
Absolutely. A well-thought-out system.
Okay, so stepping back from the individual colors, why choose a sand-inspired palette like this overall? What are the big selling points?
I think the core appeal really comes from its connection to nature. That immediately gives it a sense of calm and also a timeless feel. It's less likely to feel super trendy and then quickly dated.
That's a good point. Less risky long term.
Definitely. And those warm, earthy tones, they just naturally make you feel comfortable, maybe even build a sense of reliability, trust.
Which is huge for branding.
Huge. And the fact that it works across different fields, wellness, hospitality, fashion, interiors, just shows how versatile it is.
Yeah, that's quite a range.
It manages to be neutral, but still kind of dynamic, so it fits with modern minimalist looks, but also more traditional styles, too.
Versatility and timelessness. Those are pretty big advantages in design, for sure. So how does this play out in the real world? Let's talk practical applications. Branding first. Visual identity.
Yeah, for branding, this palette is great at sending messages of warmth, trustworthiness, sophistication, but in an approachable way.
How so?
Well, you could go really minimal, maybe just using soft sand and warm beige for a clean, elegant feel. Or you could bring in desert dune and deep clay for a bolder, more grounded look. That could be really good for logos or websites wanting to feel natural, approachable.
I'm thinking about business cards, too. That tactile feel. These colors would feel quite refined, wouldn't they?
Exactly. Understated refinement.
Yeah.
It's about the feeling it creates, not just the look.
Okay. What about interiors? I can already imagine some of these on walls.
Oh, absolutely. In interior design, these colors are fantastic for creating warmth and harmony. Soft sand, warm beige. Yeah, perfect for walls. Makes the space feel light, welcoming. Then you could bring in golden sand and muted taupe, maybe through furniture or textiles, little accents, just layering in some depth and interest.
Layering, right.
And then deep clay, desert dune. Use those more strategically, maybe for contrast. Accent pieces, a feature wall perhaps, to create a focal point.
Okay.
The whole goal is a space that feels balanced, comforting. You know, think about spaces designed for relaxation spas, lounges. You often see these kinds of tones.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly inviting. Calming. What about the digital world? Websites, social media, does it work there too?
Surprisingly well, actually. It's very adaptable.
How does that work on screen?
Well, the lighter tones, soft sand, warm beige, they're great for clean, airy layouts online, makes things easy to read, feels open.
Okay, readability is key.
Definitely. And then maybe use something like Desert Dune for your call to action buttons or little graphic elements. It gives a visual nudge, but feels organic, authentic, not jarring or pushy.
Authentic, yeah. That's a good word for it.
So the overall vibe on social media, for instance, would be kind of understated elegance, a genuine, natural feel, which really helps build trust online.
So physical space, digital space, the common thread seems to be this natural harmony.
Exactly.
Which brings us to, I guess, the importance of harmony in any color palette.
Absolutely fundamental. A good palette ensures everything works together. Cohesion.
It's not just picking nice colors individually.
No, not at all. It's about how they interact, how they complement each other. And this warm sand palette, because it's so balanced with these warm, earthy tones, it just excels at conveying that sophistication and that connection to nature we talked about.
Right.
And that harmony is what ultimately makes a visual identity impactful, memorable, emotionally resonant.
So the key takeaway here really is this warm sand palette isn't just a bunch of nice neutrals strung together.
Not at all.
It's a carefully chosen set of 6 tones. Each one has a purpose, designed to evoke certain feelings, create that timeless, grounded look, and it works across so many different areas.
Precisely. And it's that interplay, that careful balance between the warm and earthy shades that gives it its versatility and power. It creates identities that feel both calm and substantial.
Okay, this has been really insightful. So for you listening, maybe think about this. How much do those subtle differences within seemingly neutral palettes actually change how you feel about a design or a brand?
That's a good question.
Maybe just notice the brands or designs you see day to day. How are their color choices affecting your perception? And perhaps, just as a little exercise, look up some other nature-inspired palettes, see what different stories they tell, what feelings do those combinations bring up. You might be surprised at the subtle power packed into these color choices.